North Korea is famous for creating a cult of personality around the leaders of the country, and Kim Jong-un is no exception.
For his entire time as the supreme leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un appeared on camera a lot. Public addresses threatening nuclear war and military parades were part of his everyday schedule. But then in April 2020, Kim Jong-un suddenly vanishes from public view.
Where is North Korean leader Kim Jong-un?
But someone was missing. Kim Jong-un.
By studying satellite images, North Korean state-run media, North Korean military parades, and tracking flights in and out of the country, intelligence analysts were able to determine that Kim Jong-un was indeed in hiding. This got analysts wondering, was the most dangerous leader of the East ill, or maybe even dead? And then suddenly, someone emerges in his footsteps to watch the throne. A woman named Kim Yo-jong, Kim Jong-un's sister. She's very well educated, involved in politics, and took over many of Kim's duties while he was missing. But don't let her small frame, soft face, and smile fool you. If she takes her brother's place as the supreme leader of North Korea, she will most likely be way more ruthless than her brother ever was. If her past is anything to go by. So if Kim Jong-un does die, you should probably get to know a little bit about the future face of North Korea. Kim Yo-jong. The last three supreme leaders of North Korea were men, so why her? To understand that, we have to take a look at the Kim dynasty. Kim Jong-un has at least 4 brothers and sisters, but most of them aren't exactly great options for taking over North Korea. There's Kim Jong-nam, his oldest half-brother, who was first in line to take over the country, until he got caught trying to sneak into Tokyo Disneyland with a fake passport, to which he got exiled by his dad, and eventually assassinated on his brother's orders in 2017. Literally real-life Godfather stuff. Then there's Kim So-song, his older half-sister, who was very active in politics and said to be her dad's favorite. Unfortunately, it wasn't a great time for women in North Korea when her father died, so she got overlooked because of her gender. The next best option would be Kim Jong-un's other brother, Kim Jong-chol, except he's more interested in guitars, Eric Clapton, and becoming the North Korean Hugh Hefner than taking on the moral responsibility of being the supreme leader, so he's out too. Kim Jong-un's kids can't take over for him, they're still too young. So that just leaves Kim Jong-un's younger sister, Kim Yo-jong. Kim's sister was lucky enough to be sent to a prestigious Swiss school to get a first-class education. Unfortunately, the majority of us aren't as lucky as Kim's sister. But thanks to the internet, we can learn practically anything a prestigious school can teach you, all online. That's what I did and what I still do to this day. And that's where Skillshare comes in. Skillshare is an online community with thousands of classes that help you learn skills that you're passionate about. One great option is the Productivity Masterclass, Principles and Tools to Boost Your Productivity. It's made by the YouTuber Ali Abdaal and can help you unlock your productivity potential by understanding how productivity is affected by your mindset and habits. Forget boring lectures and homework. Everything you learn here is easy to digest, relevant, and actually applicable to your career. Skillshare is always launching new classes. There are never annoying ads to interrupt your learning, so you're definitely going to be able to find a ton of classes that speak to you. Plus, the first 1,000 people who sign up with the link below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity today. Seriously, I would not be here if it wasn't for self-education, so that's why I love sponsors like Skillshare, and why you should click the link below to get your 1-month free trial. Thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Kim Yo-jong is either 31 or 33 years old, depending on whether you ask the US Treasury or South Korea. When she was 9, her dad sent her and Kim Jong-un to school in Switzerland. She enrolled under the fake name Park Mi-hwang. Their mother was a concubine, not an official wife, so he sent them away to protect them from the North Korean elites, and of course, to protect his reputation as a moral and divine supreme leader.
And in North Korea, in communist society, the morality is very important. If Kim Jong-il shows to North Korean people that he had multiple wives, it would not be good moral, so he had to hide his children, and that's why they went to study in Switzerland for that reason.
So the two Kims lived with their aunt and uncle in Switzerland, had their own private chef, and a team of bodyguards to look after them. When Kim Yo-jong finished school, instead of leaning into more of modern society and the West, she chose to go back to Pyongyang and join the Kim Il-sung University. She studied a special computer science course that gave her a degree in just 6 months. No one really knew or cared about who she was. She never appeared on TV, and most people didn't even know she existed until much later. By 2007, she joined the North Korean Workers' Party, working under her aunt and learning how to manage North Korean politics.
Now she's working as a deputy director in the Korean Workers' Party and in the propaganda department.
But it wasn't until 2011 at her father's funeral that she was publicly seen and acknowledged for the first time. She made her first official appearance in 2014. And this innocent, kind-looking girl would soon become the most ruthless woman in North Korea. After appearing with her brother in 2014, Kim Yo-jong quickly showed that she was ready to move up the ranks in the regime. When her brother got sick just a few months later, she easily took over some of his duties. Around that time, she was also a deputy director at the Propaganda and Agitation Department, which is basically in charge of making the Kim family look like gods. She also managed all of Kim Jong-un's events and security. She became his right-hand woman, as close as you can get to the supreme leader. What's even more interesting is that over the years, many analysts have come to suspect that she's the real brains behind the regime. Her brother just has to put on a smile and do as she says. Ever since 2014, she's in the background of almost every public appearance her brother makes. Kim Yo-jong might be the one pulling the strings behind the Hermit Kingdom. Kim Yo-jong has been getting closer and closer to power in North Korea. In 2017, she became the second woman ever to be promoted to North Korea's Politburo, their inner political circle. She also married the son of the nominal head of states, the guy in charge of the army, and the second most powerful man in North Korea.
According to the intelligence in South Korea, they have 2 children. First born was in 2015 and second born in 2018.
She attended the South Korean Winter Olympics in 2018, becoming the first North Korean politician to step foot on the other side since the Korean War. But when she got there, people immediately noticed something was off about her appearance. The Kim family is genetically fat, but she's extremely thin, pale, and always looks a little bit ill. Her complexion and behavior brought South Korean doctors to suggest she's probably on meth.
So when she visited South Korea around 2018, the experts in South Korea were saying her look, her complexion shows like she was using a lot of crystal meth drug.
And it would make sense. North Korea produces and exports huge amounts of drugs like crystal meth to keep the money flowing into their coffers. So her being addicted to the stuff doesn't seem so far-fetched. At the time, she said she looked sick because she was pregnant, but her looks haven't changed ever since. And if having a sober dictator in North Korea is terrifying, just imagine what a dictator hopped up on meth would be like. Back to her visit. Kim Yo-jong talked a big game about finding common ground with South Korea when she visited. But then just a few years after she got back, South Korean activists started sending massive amounts of anti-Kim propaganda over the border using balloons. She immediately released a statement calling South Korea's president insane for allowing them to do that. She threatened to destroy the Inter-Korean Liaison Office that was supposed to keep the communication between the two sides open, and a day later, the building was blown up. Apparently, when Kim Yo-jong orders something, North Korea obeys. And recently, she's been speaking out on her own a lot more, calling South Korea a frightened dog barking for complaining about missile tests. She's becoming even more aggressive than her brother. Before she could take the throne, Kim Jong-un reemerges. He had lost a lot of weight, probably not in a healthy way, and analysts believe he's sick, and that he may even be preparing for his death. Kim Jong-un's time seems to be near, and the more we learn about his sister, the more it looks like she would rule with an iron fist. The fact that she's a woman and that most of the military leaders over there are older than her only makes it worse. To get them to respect and fear her, she has no choice but to be as ruthless as possible.
At least until the son gets older enough, Kim Yo-jong gonna act as a supreme leader. So a lot of people say because she's young, Western educated, and woman, she must be a better leader. Her record doesn't show us that. She's actually even brutal than Kim Jong-un. She blows up and she destroys things.
She even threatened Joe Biden recently, saying if America wants to sleep in peace for the coming 4 years, it had better refrain from causing a stink at its first step. So even though Kim Jong-un seems to be okay for now, his failing health can mean that North Korea will soon see its very first female supreme leader. And even if it seems like a win for women, the idea of a die-hard dictator on meth with something to prove, in charge of the 4th largest military in the world, with chemical and biological weapons, and an estimated 60 plus nuclear weapons, should give you a little pause. And by the way guys, we have a private documentary coming out soon on everyone's favorite person, Jeffrey Epstein. It would definitely get demonetized if I published it, so it's only going to be available to members of this channel, and you can join by clicking the join button below or using the link below if you don't see the join button. This is where we reserve only the best, most controversial documentaries that explore how the world really works that can't be released to the public. We have a new one coming out every month, and you won't be able to see them anywhere else. Click that join button below for everything they will never teach you in business school for a tiny fraction of the price. And if you join and don't think it's worth it, email me and I will personally refund you the money. But I have a feeling that you won't regret it.